Clutching his chest, Golden Freddy curled in on himself. His shaking head returned tenfold. Scott watched on with pure terror. How could he have forgotten about Fredbear? How could he have forgotten about Spring Bonnie? How did he not see how their disappearances would affect Goldie? Goldie, the last animatronic remaining from the Fazbear Diner. Scott's throat closed, and his heart shuddered in his chest. His heart shouldn't be able to do that anymore. In that same vein, Goldie shouldn't be able to mourn his bandmates. And yet, here they are. Goldie gulped on air, and he slowly sat up. They're gone, and I'm all alone, Goldie finished. His words hung in the air. Scott's heart crawled up his throat. Golden Freddy had placed his trust in William and in Scott. And look where that's left him. Scott had no idea what to do, or even what to say. How do you apologize for ignoring someone, even unintentionally, while their whole world was ripped away from them? What had Scott been doing? What had blinded him to this? Oh, that's right. Scott's world had been shattered then, too. First, Elizabeth, his Daisy, had gotten too close to Circus Baby. Then Issac, Scott's crying child, had gotten too close to Fredbear's mouth. Then William was taken away for questioning, and Michael. That's when Michael had fallen into such a deep sleep that he didn't wake for 3 days. Scott's diner, the Fazbear Diner, was forced to close, and Scott was left completely alone. Just like Golden Freddy was. Oh no, Goldie! Scott pulled Goldie into a snug hug. He felt the yellow bear tense. Scott let his grip relax, but he kept his arms around Goldie. Golden's mind must have wandered away, and Scott's touch must have brought him back. That, or perhaps he really didn't feel comfortable being touched right now. Scott wasn't sure what to do, so he squeezed his eyes shut instead. He didn't feel like he was worthy to look into Goldie's eyes. "I'm so sorry, Goldie," he said. He felt Goldie jump in his arms. Scott froze up. Was this the wrong thing to say? Was this the wrong thing to do? What was he? His mind was freed from that particular spiral when he felt the yellow bear sink into his chest. Scott pulled Goldie in and held him close. He racked his brain on how to fix this. He couldn't leave Goldie out in the cold again. Scott needed Goldie to know that he wasn't alone in his grief. Hello, my lovely cupcakes. Elsie wrote here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this lovely episode of our comic. I did not expect, when I sat down writing this storyline and getting things started, I did not expect it to go this sad. But in my defense, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that we haven't really touched on Scott being a dad. Our phone guy, being a dad to 3 kids who all were taken from him as well. That doesn't excuse how him and Goldie have definitely hurt each other. They didn't mean Scott really messed up with Goldie. but he also had other stuff going on. So it's kind of a give and take situation where it's kind of up to you on what could have been done to make things better. I think in reality, they were both in such a sticky situation that it was just kind of a wash. Neither were doing okay. But I gotta admit, when I was writing this, I got a little choked up because it made me think a lot about the FNAF comic on my Instagram, which I know I talk about a lot, but it's really important to me. There was a part of the Nightmare comic where we actually got to hang out with Daisy, who is my version of Elizabeth. The reason why why her nickname is Daisy instead of just calling her Elizabeth is one of my best friends is named Elizabeth, and it just weirded me out. So I started calling her Daisy instead, especially because, also adding to that, before we knew that this girl's name was Elizabeth, we just knew that she had a little flower in her hair and that she went up to Circus Baby. So I started calling her Daisy. And then when I found out about the Elizabeth thing, I was like, I'm sticking to Daisy. That feels weird. She's gonna be Daisy to me. So it kind of made me nostalgic, and it made me really miss those. It made me sad to think about how these 3 kids were taken too. I'm getting emotional over fictional characters. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think things are gonna get sad before they get better. I promise things are gonna get better soon though. The next chapter though, we do get a little more backstory into Scott and a little bit about how he viewed the animatronics. Well, I will see you all next time on our lovely show. Thank you, my lovely cupcakes. Bye.